First of all, I just want to thank all the schools in the area, in Lubbock, the surrounding communities for just making this such a special day, and also for making it one of a kind, because I think that we certainly have to have the largest probably than anybody else in the country that does a kids game. And I just love the fact that everybody buys in. I've been hearing all over town how excited all the kids are for coming, and the parents and the teachers. And I just want to give a shout out to Will Show, our marketing guy, for lack of a better word, that has really pushed to do this for us and has just done a fantastic job of making it just something that not only the kids look forward to, but our players look forward to, and the coaches do as well. So what a great environment. I think that Jacksonville is a good basketball team that we were concerned about because of their athleticism and just their ability to get up and down the floor and to defend you a little bit. And I thought our kids handled it really well. We had a lot of open looks in the first half that weren't going down, and I want to credit our kids for not getting frustrated and not hanging their heads. I thought they crashed the boards early to still get points on the board. I thought we made good adjustments at halftime, and as you saw, the third quarter, we went straight to the rim and got a lot of easy layups to kind of open up the game, and I thought that our kids just adjusted well. Clearly, they all want to shoot the ball better, and I know that we will moving forward, but obviously finding a way to win when you're not shooting it exactly as well as you can speaks volumes just to their character and to how hard they play and how they can score in a variety of ways.
Danae, you might have been enemy number one for a little bit out there from the kids, but they forgave you quickly. After the game, are y'all able to kind of step out of the basketball of it at all and kind of realize all of them coming out there and wanting autographs and pictures after a game to kind of how cool that is?
Yeah, definitely a huge moment. A lot of kids, look up to us, and that's a cool thing to do after the game is be able to just hang out with them and sign autographs for them, and even talk to them. Some of our biggest fans are those kids, so, obviously that's just a really big thing, and we're all grateful that many kids can show up for that game. Yeah.
And your coach talks about not shooting it well, but being able to finish strong. You had 10 points in the fourth quarter. Can you just talk about your mindset going in that quarter?
Yeah, obviously the 3-ball wasn't going in for me or any of us really, and I just knew I needed to get to the rim more and see the ball go through the hoop, and it's kind of just what I did. Got out and ran in transition, and Bailey and Gemma and them found me running and threw the ball in. Yeah.
Is running in transition something you've been trying to work on this year? It just seems like you're kind of leading the charge there.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's definitely a very important thing as the three. And just our entire offense is, get out and run in transition. But, yeah, because it just opens up the floor for the one and the rest of our offense. So, yeah.
And I think it was Monday or so. At some point, Coach Koch was telling a story about you've been one of the players that have helped kind of raise the standard or keep the standard for the team in practice. Even something as simple as telling a teammate to uncross their arms on the sideline, I believe is the story she told. What is that standard from your standpoint as y'all head into Big 12 play that y'all have to live and die by?
I think the thing that we're going to live and die by is just our defensive standard. I mean, just getting after people. I mean, I think that we need to play the exact same no matter who we're playing, non-conference or Big 12, and I think we've been doing that pretty well. And, I just, like I said, showing up and practicing the same every day, not letting people get lax. But I think everyone holds each other accountable, and it's a very good thing because everyone is able to adjust and hear you and then make changes. So.
And Sarah, I think 7 of 8 today from the floor. How much work have you been putting on that end to be able to finish like that, and with anybody in particular on staff?
I've been practicing every day, in practice with my teammate. I feel like it's just today was a good day for me. I should do this every game, but unfortunately it's not what I'm doing right now. But
got to start sometime.
Yeah.
So you did it.
And that's a good start going into conference play, so I feel like I'm doing good.
Yep, I think so. I would agree with that. And then going back to last game, you got to go back to your old school and play in Odessa. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then coming back to this game, you're going to play in front of all these kids as well.
It was amazing to go back and play at Odessa because this is where I was in JUCO. I get to see some people I know from over there, and you get to remind me some memories, like why I'm playing basketball and how I like to play basketball. And coming back here and playing in front of a lot of kids was good too, because this is the other part of why I'm playing basketball and why I love playing basketball. Like Danae said, this is our biggest fan and kids that look up to us. So, yeah.
Okay, Danae, this is kind of a silly question, but did you feel any pressure when it came to that one free throw?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I did. Obviously, I missed the layup to get the and one, and then I looked up at the scoreboard and I saw 65, and I was like, I gotta make both of these, and then I didn't. But yeah, it was a lot of pressure, yeah, because we're loud, especially on the second one. But yeah, it's all right. Oops.
They still cheer.
Yeah.
Y'all are a quiet bunch today. Yeah.
Oh, well, you talked about it a little bit. Just you had open shots that just weren't falling in the first half. So what are you just kind of telling them throughout that? Just stay focused on defense, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think we told them, to just keep doing what they're doing. But I told them to quit measuring it. I felt like we had some kids when they missed their first couple of ones that they were really catching it and studying it and maybe aiming a little bit instead of just catching it in rhythm. And that's what shooters do. Shooters got to catch and shoot. It doesn't really matter how wide open you are. But I thought we were definitely getting the looks that we had talked about. Loved the fact that they continued to crash the boards. So we didn't do that as much in the second quarter, and we talked about that at halftime. But then we told them to start getting to the rim more. We're like, get to the rim more, and it'll start. You'll start getting more in a groove. But I felt like they got really good looks, and we weren't taking bad shots. We just weren't knocking them down.
And Sarah obviously had the scoring game, but not usually her game. But it looks like she's a lot more comfortable just catching the ball in the low post, handling it there.
Yeah.
What have you seen from her growth in that area?
Well, we actually talked at halftime and showed a clip to her at halftime of her not catching the basketball because she was already moving into her move. And so she turned the ball over. And so we wanted her to slow down. We definitely wanted her to slow down and catch it and chin and check, if you will, to see if there's any help coming. But I thought in the first half, Bailey did a really good job, and Jim's as well, of getting her the basketball in scoring position, and a lot of it is leading them directly to the shot, right? I think Sarah needs to be led directly to the shot, or if she's catching it with her back to the basket, she's got to slow down because she can make some good post moves, but if she gets in a hurry, she either doesn't catch it or turns it over. So I think she's been trying to do that a lot for us. We've been talking to all of our post players about being more productive in the paint because we need an inside presence. Obviously, Jada Malone's been doing that for us, and I think Sarah just knows that she has to be more productive as well. So today, I felt like our guards did a great job of attacking and making the right read, which was to get her the basket, get her the ball moving towards the basket.
What do you think today you kind of saw that you want to focus on with Baylor coming up?
Obviously rebounding, that's going to be a key for us all year long. It has been. I felt like we attacked the offensive glass pretty well, but we certainly did not do a great job on the defensive side of it. And that's going to be huge for us. I mean, they have one of the leading rebounders in Little Paige Bugs in the conference, and we're going to have to do a great job of keeping her off the boards. But it's one of those things where when you're so defensive minded, and I told them this before the game started, I said, don't play such great defense and you put your heart and soul in it and then you don't finish the play by getting the rebound. And I felt like that happened to us today some. It wasn't that we were getting them down to a shot clock, but we were making them take contested early shots and weren't coming up with the rebound. And that's frustrating because that would actually put us into our transition, which we're much better at, and it would put us at a faster pace. And because they were getting second chance opportunities, it slows our offensive production down. So I feel like that's why it was pretty low scoring early, is because we weren't finishing plays with the rebound.
Coach, you knew this team. You said that it was going to be a challenge. I mean, they've been a team that have been able to go on the road. They beat Georgia Tech on the road, so you knew it was going to be a challenge. How do you feel like your defense came together in this game, especially second and fourth quarter, just to shut out this game and move on to obviously Big 12 play?
Yeah, I think when we watched film on Jacksonville, we saw how athletic they were and saw that they could really thrive in transition, and they thrive getting to the free throw line. And they're actually, I think they lead the nation in free throw attempts. And so that's very concerning coming off the ACU game where we put ACU on the line 35 times. So we had a lot of heart-to-hearts the last 48 hours of defending without fouling, of being disciplined and not reaching, and letting our defense lead them into turnovers instead of a single person trying to get a turnover by reaching or whatever. And so I thought that our kids really bought into that. And even though the first quarter didn't go quite as we wanted it to, and those were second chance opportunities, I did think the second quarter we really locked down. And at halftime, they'd only shot 2 free throws, and that's huge. That was a huge goal of ours. And I think that our team really responded to that. Secondly, we wanted to hold them to a pretty low offensive production, and to have them in the 30s in the fourth quarter, I think it just speaks to the volume of how tenacious our defense is. And really today we were a lot more disciplined because I guess it was in the start of the third quarter, or maybe at the end of the third quarter, they started scoring at the end of our press, and we can't allow that to happen, because when we can guard people in the half court, we need to be able to not let our press hurt us. If we can actually guard them in the half court. So we talked about that at the intermission, and I felt like our kids really locked in defensively, and I think that's what's going to help us in conference play, is being able to defend people and keep us in ball games when we're not shooting the ball well.
And then, Coach, a 13-0 start, you finish non-conference play. You've had good starts in non-conference, and then once you've gotten to Big 12 play, that's when sometimes you guys have struggled. What do you think makes this team differently than past teams as you head into conference play?
Yeah, to be really honest and transparent, we have better players. I mean, we've got more pieces. We've built that up, and that's not to say anything about the teams that we've had before. I think they've done a great job of doing what we've asked them to do, but we've got specific players that are really in tune with what we're trying to do, and they do a great job of executing it. I think this team is really connected, but I think the difference too is that our non-conference schedule this year is strategic, right? I mean, we went on the road and played in some people's home courts that I think is difficult to do. I think obviously we've got some Power Fours to come to our place. I think that's difficult to do, and we're not letting people hang around. People that we're supposed to beat, we're beating them. And I just think that has helped us. But, when you've got a point guard that can run the show, clearly that helps. When you get in Big 12 play, if you don't have a point guard, obviously it shows, right? But I feel like, too, our team is more connected. They're very bought in, and they're very unified. And they're very focused on the mission. And I think that's a huge piece of it as well.
You talk about the players being different, but also the skill sets of the players. Even tonight, not shooting it great at all from 3, it seemed like if that didn't happen in the past, there's no way you're winning to be able to finish. I think you only missed 1 layup. Was that a part of the roster construction and the people you brought together?
No doubt. I mean, think about Snetta Collins, right? I mean, she's a prolific scorer. Like, she's a fantastic athlete. Like, she's a different level. I think Jalen Bristow's playing at a different level. She got kind of saddled a little bit with fouls, and so couldn't really get in her flow. But she's a different player. Long, athletic. They can score at all 3 levels. Like, those 2 kids individually are fit our system really well. We've recruited to our system, but they really understand and have posed some really difficult matchups for our opponents. It's great to have an inside presence. Jada Malone and Sarah coming in and giving us more of an inside presence helps balance our attack, our offensive attack especially. And then our guards are good. Gemma is really good. I mean, I think that Bailey obviously is it cracked the top 10 today and all-time Lady Raider scoring list, which is a huge feat. I think we're seeing how talented she is. Obviously, Danae can really D people up and obviously shoot the basketball too. And clearly, we're trying to get her to get to the rim more as well. And we've added Sydney Love, who gives us another dimension at that point guard spot and off guard, who can shoot it. And then Adley's coming in and helping us as well, and she's been able to really fit into what we're doing and be more confident in it. So we've got a good rotation of 8 or 9 that can really help us, and they're the right pieces to how we're trying to score. And I think I think it's been evident in our games too. Like, we have 4 kids in double figures today. It's the first time Sarah's been in double figures as one of them. Danae's one of them today as well, whereas usually it could be Snutta and Jalen, Bailey, obviously, Jada Malone. Like, it's really nice to have that type of balance, and the kids don't care. The kids just want to win, so that they're going to go to whoever's got the hot hand or whoever's got the mismatch or however the game is flowing at that time.
And you talked a little bit about the fouls and that being an emphasis to not do that. Is there any discussion amongst the team as far as kind of feeling out the refs each game? Because it seemed like sometimes they let y'all play a certain way and other times they don't.
For sure. So they've changed the rule too, right, on hand check, on guarding the ball handler. And so it's interesting because I don't feel like the officials are all on the same page with that yet, and that's to be noted. I mean, that happens, but I do think our kids have to adjust. They have to see, is it going to be physical? Can we be a little bit more physical, especially on the ball handlers, or do we need to take a step back? Our kids do have to be smarter about that, and they have to adjust quicker. But I do think that also it plays into the way the game is supposed to be called now. I think that plays into how we want to play defense, because we want to be aggressive and physical on the perimeter and in the full court press. And when we're allowed to do that, we're pretty tough defensively. But clearly, we've got to be able to adjust so that we don't give people free points.
And 13-0, I know y'all have talked a lot about 1-0 mindset and all that, but how proud are you of the team of actually being able to achieve that? Because it's not easy to win 13 in a row.
Thank you for saying that. It is not easy. It is not easy to win, period, right? And then to win 13-0 in our non-conference, when I think our kids have approached it just exactly correct. Like, we literally have just kept our head down and we're like, who's next? What's next? And I feel like we've played. I mean, ACU was ugly, but we still played pretty well. Like, that was one of our top offensive efficiency games. Today we didn't shoot it great, but we still played pretty well. We played defense. I feel like this team hasn't had those moments where it's just like we're throwing our hands up and like they're just not locked in. Like, they've really been locked in, and I think that that goes to their maturity. I think that goes to their mindset. Obviously their unity. I've said that 100 times, but I'm super proud of the mindset that they're and the approach that they're taking day by day. And it is like, I know as well as anybody, we have done well in non-conference before, but this is different. And I really think that, it's going to be a great game on Sunday. I'm excited for the matchup. I'm excited for our kids to have that opportunity. I'm excited for Lady Raider Nation to get behind us and help us, because we need that help. I clearly get that we have to prove it to people, but at the same time, like, jump on board and come help us, right? Because it takes all of us to get it done. So if you believe in us, I think that will go a long ways.
Do you feel that excitement, that eagerness, and even maybe having to hold them back over the last couple of weeks of like, hey, I know y'all are excited to prove it in Big 12, but they have to finish it out?
Yes, we definitely feel the momentum. We definitely feel the momentum rising and all that. But I don't think that our kids are thinking ahead. I think our kids have really embraced playing one game at a time. I think they've embraced playing together and for each other. I think they've embraced learning the game and getting better. Like, our practices have been hard. They've been intense. They've been where you could have some teams that could be immature and be like, why are they bitching at us, right? Like, we're 13-0 or whatever. And those kids aren't. Like, those kids are like, we got to get better. And they see it. And they're smart basketball players, so they see where they need to get better. And I absolutely love that about them.
And you talked about getting the fans to support y'all. I think there's like a fan bus or something. Can you talk about what that is and what they can do?
Yeah, we did a little bit of we did a survey to see if we had enough interest to put one together, and it came back that we did. So we are really encouraging people to jump on that bus, and it's a day trip, obviously, right? It is a little bit of a haul, but when you've got somebody driving you, we're taking care of, I think, 2 lunches, or 2 dinner, or 2 meals, a game ticket. I think it would be lots of fun to be on that bus, right? Come cheer the Lady Raiders on, and then obviously they can then celebrate all the way home. So if they need information about it, help me out, Will. What do we need to do?
Go to social media. It's on our.
Okay, yeah, all of our social media, they can find the link and register, and we want that bus to be full. We would love it if there was such a demand that we had to get another one. That would be fantastic, to put that on Will's plate. He would be like panicking a little bit, but I think it would be great. But I've got lots of interest and lots of texts and calls from people from the Metroplex and the area coming to the game, and I can't wait to see the red there, and it's going to be an awesome environment. All right. Thank you, guys.